Internet, good morning. This is Daybreak748 coming back at you guys with yet again another Digimon figure review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the awesome, the epic, the almighty Omegamon. Now this is brought to us by the good folks at S.H.Figuarts, and yeah, I'm super excited about this. Now to be honest, when I was at the con, I was actually looking for the D-Arts version. Why? Well, it's because the D-Arts version has that awesome, shiny, metallic paint job for the arms. However, the S.H.Figuarts, as you can kind of tell from this right here inside the packaging, you could clearly see that it's the matte finish paint. Now, maybe they were going for that Digimon Tri look. I'm not really too sure, but personally, I was not a big fan of it. Now, there is one thing that I am a huge fan of, and we'll get to it when we get to the actual figure review. But nonetheless, this is an epic figure, and I cannot wait to open this up. So here we go. We have the standard packaging for all the Digimon figures. We have S.H.Figuarts on the left here. We have Omegamon on the bottom. You have this nice, awesome picture of Omegamon right there. The nice display window right there. On both sides, you have an awesome picture of the actual figure in action. And then on the back, it showcases, once again, some more poses, more optional parts that you can use with this particular figure. And it looks freaking epic. I cannot wait to open this guy up and review this for you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get this guy out of package and we'll see what he has to offer. Be right back, guys. And we are finally back with Omegamon, fully equipped with all his accessories, and he looks freaking gorgeous. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you are not a careful collector, if you like to kind of manhandle your figures, stay away from this figure, because I guarantee it, a couple of seconds of just mishandling this figure, you will definitely break something. Now, don't get me wrong, I think S.H.Figuarts has done a fantastic job when it comes to the recreation of the anime character. But it's because of the actual character design that makes this figure so difficult to handle. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's take a close look. The waist, that frame, is just that little piece right there. The legs are very, very thin. The arms, yeah, these pieces are a little bit on the bulky side, but the actual arms, they're this very, very thin piece of plastic. So when I was kind of moving this guy around, checking out his articulation, putting on his accessories, I felt like I was going to break him. Now don't get me wrong, when you have this figure in hand, you're going to notice that this is a great figure. The plastic that they use is not cheap plastic. It feels great. But because, like I said, the design of the character, they didn't really have an option. They had to go with these thin legs, the thin waist, the thin arms, and because of that, you have to be very, very careful. Another thing to note is the fact that when you're handling this guy, there's a lot of these thin little plastic pieces all around, all over the figure. So if you put a little bit of too much pressure, for example, on the head when you're trying to squeeze these pieces in to get the tie and matte figure in here, you can definitely snap any of these pieces, the horns. Or when you're maneuvering the arm and you might be holding here, if you take a close look here, this piece right here is glued to this shoulder piece. So if that's the case, then if you put too much pressure on that shoulder, you can definitely snap that piece off. Same thing applies for these horns right here on his waist. I mean, there's so many little pieces that can definitely snap if you put too much pressure. So if you're a kid and you want to own this figure, then take your time with it. Even for adults, to be honest. This is advice for any person who wants this figure. Take your time and you will be amazed at the finished product. However, getting to that finished product is a completely different story. Now, with that being said, let's transition to all of his accessories that he comes with, and then we'll take a look at the actual figure. So the first thing I want to show you guys, which is I think the most important thing, it's the instruction manual. Guys, the cape does not come attached to him, so you have to follow these directions, and they're pretty simple, so you don't need to worry about it. But follow these instructions, put it on exactly the way they tell you. The sword and the blaster piece, same thing, and they even give you little warnings saying may rub off, because as you guys can see for War Greymon, there's this little jagged piece right here. So if you're not careful when you're sliding the sword in, you could definitely scratch up that sword. Same thing applies for the blaster piece right here. Now, another part that they tell you how to put on are tie and mat. So you take off these little pieces, and they even circle right there. You can't really see it, but they circle right there, showcasing that's where you have to kind of dig your finger, and then you pop it off. So that's that. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, the thing that I mentioned in the opening, and I said I'll get to it a little later, the difference between the D-Arts version and the S.H.Figuarts release of this Omegamon, there's two things. First thing being obviously the paint job. The paint job is clearly different. Matte paint here, where the D-Arts version had the awesome metallic paint and the chromed out sword. Another difference is the cape. The cape here is a cloth piece, as you guys can clearly see. The D-Arts version was not a cloth piece, and instead it was these two plastic pieces, and yeah, that's what they gave you. I personally am digging this cloth piece because it looks freaking amazing. But they both have their pros and cons. I would have rather wanted the D-Arts version because of the paint job, but I rather want the S.H.Figuarts version because I love this cape. Now, with that being said, some more accessories that we should take a look at before we take a look at this awesome brute of a figure. You get this right here. This is useless, in my opinion. I like what S.H.Figuarts was trying to do, but the execution could have been a lot better. First thing is first, this is the piece that goes onto Omegamon's back right here, just showcasing it. There's that hole. Now, this is so that you could get Omegamon to stand and be in these dynamic poses with his cape flaring and whatnot, but these things do not hold it, and they only give you 3 pieces. There's 4 holes or ports, but they only give you 3 pieces, and they don't really stay on. So it's a pain. It's not really useful. Another thing that you get is this awesome display base. I think this is pretty awesome. Now, can this hold Omegamon's weight? The answer is no. If you are having Omegamon in like a flying pose, like for example, just to show you from the box, I've tried it. This pose right here, this piece right here, at least on mine, is very loose. So this is what happens. It just goes like that. So that kind of sucks. It might just be mine, so keep that in mind. But that's something to keep in mind, and yeah, be careful with. The other accessories that he comes with is this blaster that I already have on him. Very easy to put on. You open up Metal Garurumon's head and slide this in. Same thing applies to this sword piece. And then the awesome translucent tie and matte figure. Now on the back, you would have to take off this back piece and put on this cape. And I gotta tell you, that was another very frustrating part to deal with when it came to this particular figure. Alright, so with that said, let's take a close look at this actual figure. So as you guys can clearly see, the detail on this guy is fantastic. The paints are nice and bright. I love just everything about it. There's that pearlescent blue right there. And paint job, spot on. Likeness to the character, spot on. The crest, I mean, it looks fantastic. Metal Garurumon's head looks amazing. Same thing applies to the War Greymon. And it just looks great. Articulation, this whole arm is on a ball joint. And I'm going to just use this arm. It goes out that far because of Matt right here. If you didn't have him, it could go further. It can rotate full 360. This piece right here is on a hinge, so you can swivel that. And then the arm right here has a joint right here. And you can bend it, as you can clearly see, but it takes a little bit of force and you just have to be careful with it. The mouth is also articulated, but obviously because I have the cannon in here, you can't move it. The little piece right here is on a little hinge, and if you take a close look, he does have a upper diaphragm joint, which allows him to crunch that far forward. This piece kind of gets in the way, and he can crunch that forward back, or that far back. Not really anything to it. The waist, he can swivel, he can look left, he can look right, so that's great. This piece right here doesn't move. The legs can kick out that far. The knees, double jointed, looks pretty good. The feet pretty much have every single articulation you could possibly want, even has toe articulation, has the swivel, and the ups and the downs, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, overall, I gotta say, oh, and real quickly, thigh swivel, of course. I gotta say, I really do like this figure, but I don't think this figure is for everyone. If you guys are a Omegamon fan, and you're a very cautious collector, a very, I guess, patient collector, patient person, then I think this is a okay recommendation for you. But if you're that type of person who likes to just get in there and just start playing with their figure, yeah, this might not be for you. And if you're purchasing this for like a little brother or someone younger, I would recommend to kind of stay away from this figure. Why? Because there's so many jagged points here, like points here, points here, points here, points here, points on the head. I mean, they can really poke an eye out, and this is really not a toy that you want to give to a kid. So with that being said, that was my review on the Omegamon figure from S.H.Figuarts. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll of course answer it. And with that being said, I'm just going to give you a quick little 360, a quick little close-up one more time, and then we'll call it a day. So, look at that beautiful face sculpt. The helmet looks great. The translucent plastic, even though it's such a minute, small, I guess, scale figurine, they have detail on them. You can see the eyes, you can see the hair, you can see the shirt, the pants, everything. It looks fantastic. Here's a side view. That sword looks fantastic. I wish it was chromed out. That would have been just the icing on the cake. The legs are nice pearlescent white. Metal Garurumon's head looks great. And yeah, overall it looks fantastic. And the cape itself, it's a nice fabric piece, so it looks good. And yes, this is the way the box told you to do it, so that's that. You have the nice red inside, and there you go. Alright guys, it's been fun, but now I think it's time to go. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to stop by and watch this video. If you like what you saw, please leave that thumbs up. If you didn't, leave the thumbs down. And yeah, once again, leave a comment down below telling me what you guys think about this particular figure. Until next time, guys, this is Daybreak 748, and I'm signing out. Peace out, guys.